You thought the trial was the end. That 22 years in prison was closure. I did too. Until I found the second house. The one in his name. The one with the nursery. Sarah. And what I discovered 3 months after the verdict made everything else look like practice. 3 months after Mark was sentenced, I was finally starting to breathe again. I'd sold our house, changed my name legally, started therapy twice a week. The media circus had died down. People stopped recognizing me at the grocery store. I thought I could finally move on. Then a letter arrived. Plain white envelope. No return address. Inside, a single piece of paper with an address I'd never seen before, and 3 words written in pencil. He lied more. My hands shook as I held it. Part of me wanted to burn it. Throw it away. Pretend I never saw it. But you know that feeling when you've already seen the monster under the bed. You can't just close your eyes and pretend it's gone. I hired a new investigator. Different from the first one. This time, I needed someone who specialized in financial crimes. What he found made my blood run cold all over again. The address led to a house, 2 hours outside the city. A beautiful craftsman-style home with a white picket fence and flower boxes in the windows. The kind of house you see in magazines. The kind of house we'd always talked about buying someday. Mark had bought it 3 years ago. Cash. Under an LLC that traced back to accounts I never knew existed. The investigator got us inside legally. Through the property records showing abandonment. What we found in that house. I still have nightmares. The master bedroom had photos on the wall. Mark and her, the mistress, on vacation in places I'd never been. Their hands intertwined. Smiling like they didn't have a care in the world. Like I didn't exist. But it was the second bedroom that broke me. It was a nursery. Painted soft yellow with white clouds on the ceiling. A crib still in the box. Baby clothes in the drawers, tags still on. A mobile with little moons and stars, hanging above where the crib would go. She'd been pregnant. The investigator kept digging. Bank statements showed Mark had been funneling money into offshore accounts for 5 years. 5 years. Not 2. 5. He'd opened credit cards in both our names that I never knew about, maxing them out and paying the minimum, while stockpiling cash elsewhere. He'd taken out a second mortgage on our home without my signature, forged documents that somehow cleared legal review. But here's what made me physically sick. The life insurance policy? The $2 million one. That was the third policy. There had been 2 others before it. One for $1 million that he'd let lapse and then reinstated. Another for $500,000 that he'd cashed out early. Paying the penalty. He'd been practicing. Testing the system. Seeing how much he could get away with. And then I found the journal. Hidden in the back of a closet in that second house. Tucked inside a hollowed-out book was a leather journal in Mark's handwriting. The first entry was dated 5 years ago. Right after we'd celebrated our 3rd anniversary with that trip to the mountains. The trip where he told me he'd never been happier. The entry read, "Started the plan today. Sarah suspects nothing. She's too trusting. That's her weakness. I'll use it." Page after page of calculations. Timelines. Contingency plans. He'd written about which accident would look most believable. Car crash. Home invasion. Hiking fall. He'd researched them all like he was planning a vacation. One entry made me drop the journal. If the first attempt fails, there's always plan B. The ones you never see coming. I just need to be patient. The brake tampering wasn't plan A. It was plan B. There had been another attempt before that. One I'd never known about. 6 months before the break-in incident, I'd gotten violently sick after dinner one night. Food poisoning, the ER doctor said. Dehydration. I'd spent 2 days in the hospital on 4 fluids. The journal had an entry from that week. Dosage was wrong. She survived. I need to be smarter next time. More patient. The long game is the only game. He'd tried to poison me, and when that didn't work, he'd moved to the brakes. And when I caught him before he could collect, he'd planned according to a later entry to finish it from prison if necessary. The investigator found proof he'd been trying to make contact with someone on the outside, even after his arrest. Someone who could tie up loose ends. He was still trying to kill me. I handed everything over to the prosecutors. They reopened the case. Added charges. Attempted murder in the 1st degree for poisoning. Additional conspiracy charges. His sentence went from 22 years to life without parole. Hers went from 17 to 30. And me? I'm sitting here, 3 years later, still processing the fact that I was married to someone who spent half a decade planning my murder, like it was a career goal. People ask me how I sleep at night, knowing what I know now. And here's the truth. Some nights I don't. Some nights I wake up and check every lock twice. Some nights I wonder what else I missed. What other secrets are still buried? But then I remember, I'm alive. I survived. Not just the car that never crashed. Not just the poison in my food. But 5 years of living with a man who saw me as a problem to solve. An obstacle to remove. And I'm still here. And if you think this is where the story ends, you're wrong. Because 2 weeks ago I got another letter. Same handwriting. Same plain white envelope. And this time it said, he wasn't working alone. There's someone else. Someone is still free. Be careful. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. And stay safe out there. Because part 4 is coming. And the conspiracy goes deeper than any of us imagined.